Hello, I'm taking on a challenge to beat every playable Nintendo published game. Welcome to the next episode. The next game is Game & Watch Chef. Game & Watch Chef was the fourth game released in the Game & Watch widescreen series. Continuing the trend of monthly releases, this one was released just a month after Popeye, in September of 1981. In Smash Bros., Game & Watch's Neutral Special sees him turning into the chef and tossing various items of food at the opponent. Additionally, this game also appears as one of the forms in the Flat Zone 2 and Flat Zone X stages. In this game, you play as the titular chef. Your task is to flip various items of meat into the air. In Game Mode A, you only have to manage 3 different types of meat: a fish, a sausage, and what I think is a steak. Once again, I'm a little baffled by how impractical this all is. Why is the chef even doing this? The food spends so much time in the air, I doubt it's even being cooked. And why on earth does the chef think it's a good idea to flip around multiple items of food at once? Obviously, it's just a silly game, but that's not going to stop me from pointing out just how absurd it all is. The kitchen also has a bad animal problem. The first major problem is a cat hanging out in a basket up on a shelf. At random moments, the cat will stick out a fork and freeze the location of the steak in the air on the far left. Why is he even doing this? He's not actually eating the meat. Is he just trying to mess with the chef? This doesn't add too much difficulty, but you've got to pay attention when he drops the fork, since the steak will fall immediately after. However, the biggest pest problem is that this place has a rat infestation. Somehow, I doubt this place meets the health requirements for a restaurant. Anyway, these rats are wielding a knife and a fork, and eagerly wait in the corner for you to drop an item of food. If you miss, the rat swoops in and grabs it with a fork. Afterwards, he lays down and looks at the player with a smug grin. This pose is used to represent the life lost, so you're constantly reminded of your failure each time you look at his smug little face. Like all games in the Game & Watch widescreen series, my goal for this one is to get to 200 points and see the lives refresh. Getting to 200 in this one was honestly pretty easy. In Game Mode A, I made it to 200 on my very first try, and I only had lost 1 life up until that point. I don't think I was trying all that hard after this, since I lost all 3 of my lives pretty quickly. I ended with a score of 223 points. In Game Mode B, another type of meat is added. I think the last one is a chicken drumstick, rounding out the 4 meats with the 4 most common types represented: beef, pork, chicken, and fish. This doesn't add too much more difficulty, but it does mean you might have to move even quicker after the cat drops the steak, since you may be all the way over to the right when it happens. Similar to Game Mode A, I got to 200 on my first try. Despite being easier, I once again didn't make it too much further, ending at 288 points. Wow, this one went by really quickly. I got 200 in both game modes on my first try. It only ended up taking me 10 minutes, which is the shortest amount of time I've spent on a Game & Watch game yet. On to the review. This one feels pretty similar to a lot of the other timing-based Game & Watch games. The cat had some variety, but it's very reminiscent of the tree and parachute, and it definitely doesn't do a whole lot to make this one stand out. That being said, it's fast-paced and fun enough, and I still ultimately enjoyed my time with it. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Thanks for watching the video. If you want to see more of these in the future, make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you won't miss out on the next one. Also leave a like if you enjoyed it, since it'll help the channel grow and motivate me to continue this series. I hope I will see you in the next step of my quest to beat every Nintendo game.